Hey everyone, my name is Lauren and I'm super excited to be here today to talk to you all about the bassoon in this online virtual instrumental petting zoo. A little bit about me: I have a bachelor's degree in bassoon performance. I also have a master's degree in bassoon performance and wind band conducting. Additionally, I'm also a registered nurse. I work in intensive care in upstate New York. Playing music is still my biggest passion. I love playing whenever I can, wherever I can, and educating people about the bassoon is quite literally my favorite thing to do. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm actually going to show you how the instrument comes in my case because I think it's really interesting to see it disassembled to its actual assembled, true glory. So I'm going to go ahead and flip this around. Okay, so here's my bassoon. You see it comes in 4 parts, and we have the boot joint at the top, and going down we have the boot joint, and then the wing joint or the tenor joint, the longer bass joint, and the bell. And total there is about 8.5 feet of tubing in the bassoon. Assembled, it's a little over 4 feet tall. We're gonna go ahead and get started with our boot joint. So this is the boot joint. This is the bottom of the barrel of the bassoon. There's a little U in the tubing down here that allows the air to travel through the instrument, up, around, and out the bell. So we have the boot, and then we have our wing joint or the tenor joint or the short joint, whatever you want to call it. This one's next. And this joint is responsible for producing the more tenor upper register of the bassoon. We have all these keys back here that kind of help facilitate those notes speak. So we have this, and get that in there. You're gonna make sure everything's all lined up or else your keys won't kind of click together. Next, we have the bass joint or the long joint, and this portion of the instrument is responsible for producing the lower end of the register and pitches of the bassoon. And then we have our bell, and the bell is really important because it helps really resonate our bassoon sound, helps create that deep, unique color of a sound that the bassoon has. It also houses our low B flat key, which is the most important note on the entire instrument because it's the coolest note and the most fun to play. So that assembles on top. Okay, and so like it said, a little over 4 feet this thing stands. It's definitely a boss of an instrument. Typically you sit actually on a chair with a seat strap to help facilitate it, but I'm using a neck strap for video purposes, and you can kind of see it's pretty substantial. What's also unique about the instrument that you'll see is that there's tons of keys, and this is the back portion of the instrument. You actually hold the instrument like this. So we're looking at the back here. Your thumb is responsible for all 9 of these keys right here. And your right thumb is responsible for 4 on the back here. So you definitely have to have a lot of finger dexterity when you're playing the instrument, but you definitely get used to it the more practice you have. So as I said before, the bassoon is part of the double reed family. Okay, so it's a woodwind, it's the lowest woodwind, but the double reed thing is kind of cool. So compared to a clarinet or saxophone that only has 1 single reed, the bassoon literally has, let me see if I can see this, 2 reeds on top of each other that when you blow into them, they vibrate and produce this sound, and that actually produces the sound on the whole entire instrument. So, not the cutest sound ever. However, by even just attaching the reed onto what's called our bocal, this small bit of tubing just changes the timbre and the sound so much with just a little bit of tubing. So as I said, this was the bocal, and we attach our reed to our instrument with the bocal so then we can start playing. So there we've got some sound. We've got some good sound, at least. No squawking or anything like that. So I really love the timbre and the color of the bassoon. It has 3 main ranges. It has the low range, like the medium, and then we get to the upper range. The color changes pretty drastically throughout the entire range of the instrument. We can play super duper low, and we can also play really, really high. So I'm gonna kind of demonstrate just the different ranges that the bassoon has so you can hear the different colors of everything. ahead and go up into like the more upper registers of the bassoon. And I think that as you get higher into the registers of the bassoon, it really does produce this beautiful lyrical sound. Pretty cool, right? You can definitely hear how that color changes throughout the register. Historically, the bassoon kind of started off playing a lot of basso continuo music, so kind of more of a supportive role towards the other instruments. Also kind of like the conductor of everybody though too. The basso continuo for the basses, the cellos, and the bassoons, they really hold the foundation of that early kind of music. As orchestras and ensembles really progressed throughout the centuries, composers started to utilize the wind instruments more as solo voices rather than just supportive roles to the winds. Even so, the bassoon really kind of didn't get utilized as much, but as it started progressing into the later, 19th, 20th centuries, composers really started to explore the upper register bassoon of the bassoon for these huge, great solos. We have some really great monumental solos that we're kind of known for. The Rite of Spring is always kind of the one that comes to mind. Stravinsky's Rite of Spring starts off with a beautiful high bassoon solo. Shostakovich is another one who really just utilized the bassoon. He's one of my favorite composers. Definitely somebody you want to check out if you want to kind of explore an eclectic language of music. You'll hear great bassoon writing in the lower register that you heard, the kind of quirky language that he uses, but he also utilized the upper register of the bassoon to generate these really gorgeous, huge, big solos. And even his Symphony No. 9 has this great bassoon cadenza movement where the entire movement is dedicated to the bassoon, and it's this huge, long, drawn out, beautiful, kind of mournful, language to it. For an example that I'm going to play a little bit of the quirkier side of the bassoon, I think it's appropriate for the time of year that it is. And I think it's also one that y'all will recognize as well. It's from The Sorcerer's Apprentice. So think of Mickey, Fantasia, the hat, the brooms, and everything. This is kind of the theme song to that. I think it definitely encompasses more of the lower register, but also kind of that rhythmic aspect to the bassoon that I really love. I just am so excited to talk to you all. I'm going to stop so I start playing so I don't run out of time. If you have any questions about the bassoon, your teacher is a great resource. And I'm sure she, throw anything my way that she couldn't figure out herself. So go ahead and demonstrate. Cute, right? Well, I really enjoyed playing and, talking to you all about bassoon. Like I said, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Thanks. Bye.